loose program, and it's going to be a super loose one today. Jeff Crutcher in studio with my man
Scott Getkin
and our guest of the hour,
Anton Nordstrom.
So robotic, Anton Nordstrom. Okay, hey, this is going to be kind of a squirrely episode. We fucked up our booking here at the library, but just hang tight. Okay, so we have 17 minutes of this episode. Nice, dude. Yeah, so we got 17 minutes to jump into Anton. Okay, Anton, you're the guest of, or you're the first half guest here. Welcome to Over the Bars podcast, where we are consistently inconsistent.
Thank you. First time guest, never listened to the podcast, actually. So I feel kind of bad about that. But I mean, I'm here, so I'm probably going to check out the episodes after this.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
We'll never forgive you. It's fine.
Okay.
Dude, what a shitty guest, dude.
Yeah, first time listener, first time
be your honor.
be your honor.
Yeah, very cool. Scotty, what's popping with you? So the kid's about to pop out.
Any minute, literally, like really on baby watch now. Before it was like, yeah, baby watch. Now we're like,
It's really happening.
yeah, we could have a sneeze and a baby at the same time. It's hard to say.
I mean, I've sneezed and worse has come out. Yeah.
Well,
I've got, dude, okay, so I was thinking about this yesterday whenever I was at the gym. I was talking, today's Wednesday.
Today is
this
Wednesday.
morning I was talking to my trainer, and it kind of hit me. I was like, dude, I have 4 days left of racing in my professional career.
Says the guy that said that last year.
No. See, okay, here's the thing. I never said like, I'm done, pro racing's over. Like, I just didn't want to race arena cross anymore because me as an arena cross racer racing for my own team got in the way of me
Being a team runner.
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
4 days left, dude.
Yeah, I mean, make the most of the 4 days. But you told me that you were going to go and do like enduro trials riding or off-road instead.
Yeah. Just
What are you not doing Topeka?
yes.
Is that? I
Do
thought,
4 days off racing, like 2 days.
Actual 4 days
Yeah.
of competition. I was in my head. I was thinking 4 days until.
No.
Never mind. Yeah,
No,
4
no,
days
no,
of
no.
professional racing.
No, two this weekend at Springfield, and then 2 next weekend at Topeka.
Well, let's put it this way. I'll believe it when I see it.
How do I prove it?
I mean, we'll just see what happens come around this time next year.
I promise you I will not be racing GT Arena Cross next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're going pro in off-road instead.
Yeah, I think it might
Yeah.
be big tank time.
Big tank time?
Yeah, you know who would be so proud of us? Brad Stretz. He'd be so proud.
I hope Brad Stretch is listening to this episode. Okay, so here's the thing, Anton. For me to like be a pro racer in off-road, that means that I would have to go and race GNCCs.
I want to do those, what's the West Coast, in PG. See,
You talking Big Six?
No.
Works?
Didn't I just send you? It's kind of like Works, but it's not Works. It's like Enduro. And I got to look it up. So you guys talk about big tanks while I look it up real quick.
I mean, I feel like you are going to start doing off-road, and then you're going to realize, holy crap, I'm pretty good at this. And then start like, okay, maybe try a GNCC, do good, and before you know it, you're a pro off-road rider.
It's not going to happen. I'm too old.
No, you're not too old.
I mean, privateer off road. I can't find what I'm looking for, but it was that track. I feel like I sent it to you. It was like a prep track out in the middle of New Mexico or something. I don't know.
I really don't know what you're talking about. Now, was it Idaho by chance?
Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe.
Okay.
It could be. I don't know. Hold on.
Because who's the kid that's racing for Honda on the 250F?
For SLR?
Hymas. Yeah. So
Well, no,
Hymas's brother does the Works off-road series. And there's one in Idaho that they do that's just essentially just a gigantic motocross track in a cornfield.
Yeah, this isn't a cornfield, though. Oh, my gosh. I'm sure. I could have swore I sent it to you, but... Anyways.
Riveting.
Yeah. Great radio,
This
bros.
yeah, that's great radio.
Yeah. I'm going to find it. But.
So, Anton, you've done some off-road racing, though.
Yeah, I mean, in Sweden, like from October till April is just shitty weather, like frozen. So then we just put on spike tires on the bikes, and if you go on a motocross track that is frozen with spike tires, they are gonna break in like one practice, and the tires are expensive. So then we go out in the woods instead and do like single track riding, and done a couple of races in that, and
The National Grand Prix Championship. If you're on Instagram, NGPC Series, and it was this place.
Okay, is this Mesquite?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, hold on. Here, let's tap the... Yeah, it doesn't say.
Anyways, I don't know. It just looks super cool. Like it's like a motocross race on a big open prepped. I don't know.
I'm quite certain that's Mesquite in Nevada.
Yeah, sign me up. That looks cool.
That does look really cool.
There's no trees.
Dude, Havasu would be the one.
Yeah, I'm in. Thing is, dude, I've rode little to no off road. By the way, so I've been in this mental health training thing. You were talking about racing on the ice. There was this dude in the class is like a multi-time world champion quad ice racer guy.
Quad
ice racing.
That's so niche.
Is it? Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, yeah.
I mean, like a quad on ice. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Why would you ride anything on ice?
I mean, dirt bikes on ice is fun.
Is it cool?
Yeah, I mean, I've never had like the real ice tire, but the tires I use is the dirt spike tires, and you use drifting everywhere, and you feel like Ken Block on a dirt bike, basically. It's so fun.
So is that like a thing you guys do over there?
Yeah, I mean, when it gets too cold, I mean, you can do off-road, but it's just too cold and miserable. Yeah, so then you just go out on the lake and, build a track and do, like drifting.
Do you have any indoor stuff or anything at all over there?
We had a couple of tracks like when I was a kid, but the owners realized that if we use this for like storing campers instead, we can make so much more money. So then they just, all the tracks just disappeared. So we don't have any indoor tracks at the moment.
Kansas City needs one.
Needs an indoor track?
So much so that I was looking for a place to put one, but I was having a hard time finding an actual location. The location was harder. It's hard to like narrow down the search for that without finding a professional.
Now the question is there enough bad weather to warrant having a place to ride inside?
I don't care. I don't care if it's 100 degrees out. Like
that'd actually be pretty cool.
You control every
air condition.
Yeah, well, I mean, just out of the sun, like you can just control every element. And I guess the way e-bikes are coming on.
Yes. Have you seen the Stark Cafe?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
But dude, like think about that. Like, okay, like BMX races on Tuesday nights or Thursday nights or whatever, right? Like I think Raytown does. Like you could do that with mini e-bikes or whatever, whatever, because there's going to be e-bike 85s, e-bike 65s here soon.
I mean, to that point though, imagine if you get all the Stasic kids and, the e-bike kids. Yeah, dude.
Just any of it. I mean, and that's just e-bike. I mean, it doesn't have, you can actually just do it with dirt bikes and whatnot too.
Sure.
But I think the location is pretty hard to find. And I've actually never rode one of those places like B52 or Hangar or Route 62 or something.
And then what's the one up in North Dakota?
Yeah, you just went. Or no?
No, he didn't go.
I went to the B52 Hangar. I think it's MX at the Decks.
That's MX at the Decks, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the track actually doesn't look so fun, but they have good ventilation, so the fumes isn't bad, which is, the biggest problem for most indoor tracks.
Does it make it cold in there, though?
Good ventilation?
Yeah, I mean, like, you would think that would be pretty cold.
I mean, I'm rather cold than breathing fumes. Actually.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I get it. I mean, sometimes you go to an arena cross and like the garage door's open.
Yeah.
And you're in the stands and you're freezing your ball. There's no point to you ever warm up unless you go sit in your truck.
Dude, that's the way that one that we did in South Dakota was. It was terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
That was miserable. Yeah.
How was Hangar 52, B52, whatever you call it?
It was really nice, actually. Track was super fun. They didn't have whoops, which I didn't like because I love whoops. But the layout of the track is awesome. And then the pits are like in a same building, but it's separate. So you're not breathing fumes like all
when
the time.
Hanging out.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I can understand not having whoops. You don't have to fix them all the time. If you're doing Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night rides for public, you know what I mean? Up there, where else are you going to ride in Michigan or Illinois or wherever? I don't know where it's at.
I mean, I get why they don't have whoops, but I mean, I used to love whoops, so I want to have them.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay, that's why you like whoops.
Dude, speak for yourself. I wish GT Arena Cross had 2 sets of whoops.
If it has a roof over it, I don't really ride there.
Yeah.
But maybe if we had a place.
Well, there's one right down the road from you, Germs. Got
Yeah,
whoops
no,
there.
but those are scary. The jumps are scary, bro. Okay, so talk about scary jumps. You guys watched Glendale Supercross. Dude, were those just some massive jumps or what? Like, just massive.
Part of the game, bro. You want to be a Supercross racer, you got to do big jumps.
That's why I sit at a desk.
That's what I hate about Supercross is the big jumps. I mean, big whoops, that's awesome, but hitting a quad or triple, I'm out. I hate it.
Would you do the quad over table into the whoops that Roxon was doing and hitting the whoops at Mach 7,000 miles an hour? It was unreal. That was unreal.
I mean, I can do that if I was behind Kenny and like could see his speed. Then I can jump most things. But to do that lap after lap, I mean, no.
Yeah, that was just
I used to be
wild.
the same way where I was like, I'm not jumping that unless I get towed in. And then I just decided I'm going to be good at jumps now.
See, I'm the opposite. I could never get towed. Getting towed
really?
made me so nervous. I had to watch somebody hit it a couple times, and then I just go jump it and like wish myself over it usually.
So whenever I went to Greg Albertson's, whenever it was at the Rock and G Ranch, and I rode that track.
Oh yeah,
Dude, there's some big ones out there. And I jumped in behind Keaton McCaleb and I was like, first lap, I rode the track and just looked at it. And then I flagged Keaton over. I was like, okay, like I'm ready to do the jumps. And the thing is like they're so big that they're easy.
yeah. No, usually the biggest jumps are. I remember riding Trey's house. Like, it was like video game jumps. I mean, I felt like I was in MX Unleashed, and it was just like, brrr, and you were 6 stories in the air. You were so high, so far, but it was just like, you're up, no big deal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, to each their own. Everybody's got their own strengths. I guess mine is being okay at jumps now. But let me tell you this much: in Springfield this past weekend, they had a double quad option that I think 5 different guys jumped it. It was, I mean, straight up, it was fucking stupid. It was a stupid jump.
Well, you're on a 2-stroke, so
No, never. I mean, Ronnie Orrs was doing it on a 250F.
yeah.
It's not about that. It's about the fact that like the takeoff is 5 foot tall and the landing is 2 foot tall and it's 80 feet in length and you have a landing zone of like 6-7 feet before you're in the corner. Dylan Wood ended up crashing on it really hard the first time that he jumped it, and that was it. His weekend was ruined.
Yeah, I'm out on that anyway.
I'm just like, dude, just build a regular nice triple. Give us a big double and then a triple. The amateurs aren't going to jump it. Just give us a real jump, not these fucking like 3 foot, 2 foot tall rollers where it's like, if you are willing to just absolutely send it here's an additional landing spot for you.
I mean, I thought it looked pretty cool when they jumped it, but I wasn't racing, so I didn't have to jump it. So that's why I
did see
can
a
say
video
that.
of Chase like when he put up on Instagram or something and like landed it super smooth right into the burn, like up. I was like, oh, that was cool. But I'm not jumping it.
It's big dog stuff.
Yeah,
like you got to be a man to do something like that. And I'm not saying as a guy that wasn't doing the jump to be like, this is unsafe or something like that. It just was a stupid obstacle.
Just didn't fit what was trying to be accomplished.
Yeah. And then wall wasn't it either.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, that just was I mean, and hey, Tracy built the track. Tracy tried something. There's only one way to find out if wall is a cool obstacle. The thing that made it bad is the way that the corner angled out into it. Everybody was hitting the same line and jumping into the same line. So we were jumping into the whoops and then going triple. And there was one line and one line only, because what would happen is everybody was landing in the same spot. So the first whoop got cut down from accelerating. Jump
into the hole and then jump out and go on to the next thing. So what's lined up for this weekend?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I've seen, so Anton heard that it was going to be one thing, and then I saw a different track drawing of what it's going to be.
Yeah, I spoke to Tracy and he told me, a certain way, which sounded awesome. Like, that's going to be a great track. And then you showed me a track map and I was like, what?
That's not
Why?
it. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be like Lebanon with an extra little piece on the end there.
Is Springfield the biggest floor, or what's the biggest floor? Because Kansas City used to be, right?
Kansas City used to be, I think the KC is still the biggest one. Well, technically Tunica was the largest, actually. Enid is large. Lincoln is a real big one. I think right now Lincoln's the largest. Okay, so we have 2 minutes before we have to be out of the room already.
I don't know. Maybe we just record till they come get us. I mean, that's if somebody comes.
Okay.
I don't know. Or do we just shut this thing down and say, thanks, guys, see you later?
No. Well, I was thinking, what if we just pause and then come back and do, if you're willing to come back next Tuesday, unless you have something going on.
I can come back, but we can keep going till.
Yeah, let's just keep going until somebody knocks on the door. Yeah, and then we can just push the button and take all our shit outside.
That sounds good to me.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So how much longer are you here?
In the States or here in Kansas?
You tell me.
I'm gonna be in Kansas 2 more weeks. Straight after Topeka, I'm going to, or Sunday, I'm flying out to California to do some testing with my new race bike. Then I'm gonna fly back, drive down to Texas, do the Texas Supercross, drive to California with my van, jump on a plane and fly out to Daytona and do Daytona.
Look at you. Look at you.
Yeah.
Wow. What are you doing?
I will be. I'll be going to the grocery store and buying bags of popcorn to watch from home.
Watch East Coast? Yeah, right.
Yes.
So are you riding 250, 450? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going to do 250 West Coast, or the remaining of the 250 West Coast. And then I'm doing Daytona on a 450 and maybe a couple more East Coast rounds on a 450. But we'll see. But that's a plan at the moment.
Are you going to ride a 250 in the 450 class, or are you going to ride an actual 450?
I'm going to ride an actual 450.
Do you remember how to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I started riding 450s when I was 15, 16. So this summer was the first summer that I've raced a 250, actually.
When did you start riding a 450? When was your first? What was your first? It was the KTM 400.
It was a 400 when I was 13.
13?
Yeah.
I rode Wes Bracken's 450 when I was like 14 or 15. I raced it one weekend.
So funny you mentioned Wes Bracken, because when I was on that 400, Wes, the whoops along the trees at GV, and then you have the lopsided double onto the start straight.
Which was so cool.
So cool. Wes went around the double and then just kept hooking left to turn down the start straight, just in the middle of a practice day. And I did that double, and Wes was cutting across the track sideways, and I center punched him.
Ooh,
and
love that.
fucked that by. Or no, that was the 450 the next year. So I would have been 14 whenever that happened. But yeah, I was pretty big mad about that one.
I could understand that.
Yeah. And the thing was, it fucked up my bike, and it fucked up his bike just as bad.
I believe it.
And I just was like, what are you doing? Like, what were you thinking? He's like, dude, I don't know. I didn't know you were behind me. I didn't know anybody could come up behind me that fast.
Yeah, coming in Mach 1.
And while we're talking about that section, lest we not forget that one Wednesday where it was like, I think Chris Thies was there, myself. I feel like some guys came up from Oklahoma, and Joan Bone was out there, and we were doing that right-hander before the tunnel.
A little step up over the tunnel.
Yeah, and you were out there on your Honda 250F and just obliterating that right-handed corner.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the first time where I was like genuinely impressed with your riding.
Good. I'm glad it took to then, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, you rode the 125 beginner class for like 7 years.
No. 6 races.
6 races. But no, it was like right after you got your Honda 250F, you were in MSR gear?
Probably.
Yeah, the blue and white
answer.
MSR gear, Missouri State Racer gear.
Yeah.
And then, we had a hell of a berm in that right-hander on a hot Wednesday night, dude. God, I miss those Wednesday nights.
Those were the best.
Yeah.
Nothing better. You don't even know. You don't even know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You might have been like in diapers when we were doing this.
Which year was it?
This would have been like 04.
Yeah, when were you born?
Yeah, I was 2 years old.
Diaper boy.
Diaper boy.
Damn, that's
I
crazy.
mean,
Do we need to go? Is it time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yep. We got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll pause this and we'll see you on the backside of Topeka. But
Sure.
yeah, okay. Huzzah, just like that, we just switched rooms. So shout out to the guy at the desk that actually was help instead of that fucking bitch.
She was actually so polite.
Oh,
she
really?
just didn't really know.
She just
wasn't
didn't know.
very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, well, do better. We have big demands here at the Over the Bars podcast.
In our free rooms. I don't even have a library card.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you do whenever you check in? Do you just tell them, hey, it's Scott Gebkin?
Yeah. So when you reserve online, you reserve a room online. You can put in the library card is optional for room reserving. I guess I don't know, but yeah, I just do it online. And apparently, I did it for the wrong day. That's what's kind of got us all jumbled up today.
I have done that before with hotels. That's the worst.
Ooh, hotels is the worst.
Yeah, that's a mistake you only make once.
Yeah, I remember we did that one time going to Texas Winter Series. I was with Chad Wiggin, Rob Rollins, somebody else and me, and we like booked it on like Travelocity on the drive because it was like $30 cheaper to do that. We were like in the parking lot booking the hotel, and it was the wrong date. So we go in to do it, and then I remember whoever it was, Rob or Chad or whoever that booked it, was like phone call in customer. It was just a giant clusterfuck of ordeal trying to get his like scheduling refunded or redone or whatever. It was a whole thing. Yeah.
Have you ever been caught up in a situation like that where you booked the wrong flight or something?
Yeah, a couple of times. I mean, my dad is a champion at that. I mean, he have done it a lot of times, and we end up just sleep in the van for the night, kind of thing. And it's always not his fault either.
No, always not. Yeah.
No, never.
I mean,
it's
that's
your fault, probably.
Yeah, probably my fault, but that's a classic dad move. I feel like all dads is that.
I can't wait to do that to my kid.
To blame them for you making a mistake.
Yeah, like I can't believe you didn't charge your dirt bike battery. Something like that.
Why don't you be more responsible?
No, I'm a big Jocko fan, so it's like extreme ownership. Like
extreme ownership is great.
Yeah, so like, I'm all about that.
You know, to that point, every time that I this season have missed a main event, I think of Jocko. Oh, you missed the main? Good. I do. Do you know how many kids I've put that on their handlebars, duct tape, and wrote "good" on it? Yeah. Sophia Barnes, she's definitely one of them. Yes. Like during regional time, she was having a really hard time because she was capable of so much more than what she had crashes and shit. You know, kind of stuff just kind of happened. Yep. Good opportunity. Yeah, that's the only way to get better is by continuously fucking something up. Yeah. Or maybe not continuously, but you know.
I mean, learn from your mistakes and try to be better. That's how you get better.
Yeah, you can't learn from your wins. That's why you move up a class. That's why I was so quick to move up to the A class, because it's like, oh, what am I going to do? Go out and ride the B class and win? What does that teach me?
Teach you winning.
Which is good, but I mean, to an extent that you can only win so much before it becomes detrimental.
Yeah, I mean, I did the same way. Like, as soon as I got the age where I could jump up a class, I did. So through my like amateur career, like you say here, I got almost no championships, and that's because I've always been in the harder class.
Yeah, that's the move. Because then the thing is okay, the kids that beat you stay in that class, they stay at that speed, and then you move up, you start racing the big dogs, and then they move up, and then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit.
Well, I mean, think about all the feathers we ruffled when we did our Knighted episode 200 years ago. Oh, yeah. Telling everybody, calling them out.
Yeah, we did an episode where we compiled a list of people that needed to move up to the A class and did this whole episode and read the list like, you've been knighted. It is. Do you know what it means to be knighted?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so back in the days of antiquity, either a king or a queen, whenever there was a man that was, trying to become a knight, only the king or queen could bestow that responsibility upon an aspiring knight. And they would, the knight would get down on his knees in the formal hall, and the king would take the sword and tap him on the shoulder on his side. Yeah, that's being knighted.
Should we do that at the last arena cross? Like, you need to move up from a C class and have a sword and do that.
That would be hilarious. Okay, so Sarah Ball took it upon herself to print stickers of a knight and says, "You've been knighted," and gave them out to a bunch of people.
That's so good.
That's awesome.
Including her, gave them to her now husband, Joey.
Yeah. I think he lost sleep over us calling him out on
I just don't get it, dude. Just ride the fucking A class.
that. I know he's listening, so.
Yo, he'll listen. And Sarah, you know that, dude, you know Sarah is at home, or, you know, she'll be listening to this probably at Bike Graphics, just snickering. Joey, it's been 5 years since the last time we brought this up. It's just ride the A class.
Move on up, Joey.
I mean, if you're going to ride plus 25,
Yeah.
if you're going to ride plus 25, and the other thing too is like, why ride B when you can ride A for the same price and get 2 more laps?
And maybe your money back.
And maybe your money back.
A lot of times you ride for free.
Yeah, kind of badass.
I mean, in Sweden, we always ride for free. So
Oh, you don't know, dude, it's a fucking joke over there.
when I won the last round of Swedish Championship, I got $300.
Oh, you mean
And-
like they no payout?
Yeah. I mean, the entry fee is $100, and the payout for a win overall is $300.
And by the way, there's more than 40 riders in the class too. They have to do qualifiers to make it in.
I mean, on a good Swedish Championship, there are like 70, 60 riders trying to qualify in each 250 and 450 class.
That sounds like I need to go to Sweden and fire up a track and start promoting races.
Yeah, you should.
That's a good
we
business
we
model.
have one guy. He did just a random race on a field, and he paid the winning guy like $5,000, and second guy $3,000, and so on. But the Swedish federation that has the Swedish Championship, they say it's impossible to make that much money so we can pay the riders. So yeah.
But a guy with a tractor in a field said, "Fuck it, I'm putting up 10 grand."
Yeah. And then made 100 or whatever.
Probably.
I mean, if
Yeah,
you had that many people show up.
He made, I think, like 30 grand, and then he just left it to the cancer, whatever, to support cancer.
Just did a charity race?
Yeah, charity race.
Good.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's super cool.
That's badass.
That's really, really cool. So how old are you?
I'm 22.
22. Wow. Okay. And you've been racing, how long have you been in the A class?
I got my pro license at 15.
So is that your Swedish pro?
Yeah,
license?
Swedish pro license. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a whole process for that, or is that just?
Yeah, I mean, you have to do like you do for Loretta's, you need to do like local qualifiers and get a wild card. And with that wild card, you can go to a Swedish Championship. And if you qualify, you can get your pro license.
Gotcha.
That sounds like Canada.
Probably.
Because in Canada, as a B rider, you can sign up for the pro class at a pro national. And if you qualify,
You can race, you just can't score points or get
no,
paid or
I mean,
anything.
whatever happens doesn't matter. If you qualify, then you're in.
I mean, if you qualify, you have shown that you're good enough to be a pro rider. So then you get your pro license.
Gotcha. Interesting. Canada, we should go.
I still think we should go up and do a couple outdoor nationals.
I'm in.
Yeah. Just got to have this
Just gotta
baby.
get this baby here. So who knows? If the sooner the better, because then we can get this program on the road.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I still want to do some races in Canada. I still want to do the regionals this summer. Obviously, a lot's going to change in the next couple months for me, but I don't know. So I don't even know anything.
Right.
I am literally so focused on getting through the 15th of February. And then after that, I mean, the future's wide open. I have no idea what's on the backside of that weekend.
That's so funny because mine's the 14th of February.
Oh, this one.
The latest the baby will be here is the 14th.
Wouldn't that be fun to have a Valentine's baby?
That'd be pretty cool. I mean,
pretty cool.
But at this point, I don't just get here.
When is Valentine's Day?
February 14th.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every year.
Every year.
Yeah.
You got a sweetheart?
If I got a sweetheart?
Yeah, have you got a sweetheart that you're going to Valentine up on the 14th?
No, I'm on Tinder trying to find one. So, yeah.
Tinder and Bumble.
Not Mr. Right, but Mr. Right Now type of thing. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
caught what you said there.
Yeah. He didn't. That's okay.
Mr. not Mrs. You're looking for Mr. right now.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean,
Whatever, it's 2025.
Hey,
no
whatever you're
judgment.
into, I don't care. Whatever you're into.
Dude, okay, so you know what? Let me tell you what I really want to talk about is the fucking absolute whirlwind that is American politics right now.
Just the all gas, no brakes.
I swear to God, this is the most like we have to be living in a simulation right now. Every day I read headlines from. We always share unusual whales. Okay?
And, great.
Yeah, great Instagram, great Twitter. But like, it's just facts. Like, there's no sensationalizing. It's just words strung together. And I read it and I'm like, how is this not The Onion? How is this not the Babylon Bee?
Yeah, like the writers for this season are just phenomenal. Like remember for episode 2025 of American politics, whatever you want to call it. Like,
yeah. So Anton and I were talking on the way over here about ICE and immigration. Now we have to remember we have a legal immigrant right here in the room with us.
Legal or illegal?
Legal.
I'm legal.
Okay, good.
I've
You have your
spent a lot
papers?
of money to be a legal immigrant.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk about that. For you to get your athlete visa, how much money did it cost for you to get that?
About $9,000.
There you go.
But how long did it take to get it?
Or I could pay $6,000 and it would take me like 8 months, but I didn't have 8 months, so I had to pay an extra. I think it was $3,000 to get it in time.
The expedited process.
Yeah,
Of course.
That took me total like 5 months, maybe 5-6 months. Yeah.
So when did you first apply for it?
Me and my lawyer started, sometime this summer. I don't really remember.
July or so it would have been. then.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So how long is that good for?
5 years, and I think I can apply to extend it for another 5 years.
He has an athlete visa.
Right.
Specifically. So, what we were talking about, and we've had this conversation a couple times, is that if there's anyone that should be against the illegal immigrants here in the United States, it's this man right here. Dude, he literally spent $9,000 of his own money to come here and chase the American dream. To be an American, a legal immigrant, a temporary citizen on a 5-year visa. And there's people from all over the globe that come here into the States and cheat the system and do it illegally. Those are the people that do it legally are the ones that should be the most offended about it. I was also kind of giving him a quick history over Guantanamo Bay, and then this new prison in El Salvador that is like, it's a lifetime sentence. If you go there, you don't come out and you never talk to your family again. Have you heard about this place?
No, I feel like I've seen some headlines on it, but I don't know for sure.
Dude, it's insane. Okay, so there's a prison in El Salvador that it's like, it's the ultimate extreme punishment. It's violent drug offenses, violent crimes with firearms, rape, and murder. It doesn't matter. Like, if you're convicted, there's no 25 to life or, these minimum sentencing or like recommended guideline sentences. If you're committed or convicted of any of these crimes, you go to this jail. And this jail is just, it's a literal hell on earth.
El Salvador is rough as it is anyway, as it gets anyways.
It is, but a lot of that is because of the crime 100%. That is there because they haven't had a government that was willing to take care of the crime, and the cartels and the drugs and the gangs are so strong there. Now they've got a government in place that's not fucking around. So they built this giant concrete building, okay? And in it, unlike here with the American penitentiaries, it's just huge rooms, okay? So you don't get a cell with bars on it, and you don't get to go to the, to the mess hall. You don't get to do all of this stuff that we, experience here in America or like in Swedish jails. He told me about Swedish jails. Dude, they come with Xboxes built in.
Yeah, they do.
What?
And before you go into jail, you can ask for certain video games you want and certain movies you want to have and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they call it rehabilitation kind of thing, jail. Like, they are trying to help you be a good person. So they show that you care about you and try to change your mind about being a criminal, which maybe works for some people, but the criminals we're starting to have in Sweden, that doesn't work.
Yeah. So this prison in El Salvador, what they're doing now is, if you're convicted, you go straight to jail. You don't ever get. There's no outside communication. Once you're in, you're in. There's no visiting. Okay, you are stuffed in this giant, like. Have you seen Squid Games?
No, I've actually never watched it. No.
Okay, so I'm going to paint a mental image for anybody that's seen Squid Games. In like the sleeping room that they have, it's just these racks that are 5, 6, 7 racks, like bunk beds tall, in a big lobby. Okay. In Squid Games, at the very least, they have a little pad to sleep on. At this jail in El Salvador, there's no pads. You literally sleep on just a metal table like this, stainless steel, okay, and fluorescent lights that are on 24 hours a day. For 1 hour a day, you're permitted to go outside. That's it. Like that is the only luxury that you get 1 hour a day outside. And I don't think that they have like basketball hoops or anything outside. It's just you get the privilege to go outside. That's it. You're locked up for the rest of your life. No possibility for parole, no exemptions, no pardoning, nothing. Once you're in for life. And it's mostly gang members that, are being committed to these crimes. But check this out. Since this prison has opened and started intaking these inmates, crime in El Salvador has absolutely just dropped. I mean, murder rates, rape, drug trafficking, drug possession, firearm, all of these, what we call felonies here, all of those, I mean, it's just stopped overnight, instantaneously.
I mean, I just don't even want to go to El Salvador now.
Yeah,
I don't want to go.
I mean, it's a lot safer than it was 6 months ago.
I believe it. Yeah.
Just don't murder or rape. Are you kidding?
I feel that's pretty hard for this guy here, but I mean, he can try.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give it the old college try to not
murder and rape.
Anyone.
Yeah. I know it's hard to do, but to that point, okay, like going back to what I originally was saying is that, dude, every day I read these headlines, I'm thinking just like, this is the craziest day in politics globally ever.
It's wild.
And every day it keeps getting crazier.
And there's just more of it. And just more. And you see, like, they're starting to just push all this, where all this money's going. All the money, tax dollars that you or anybody has spent. It's just like, oh my God.
I'm sure you saw the thing about the condoms that were going to Uganda or whatever. Gaza, yeah. $50 million in condoms were cut out to go to Gaza. What the fuck? Dude, it's literally just, it's money laundering.
There's so much. Dude, that's all that it is. That's all it is. That's all Ukraine is. That's all this Israel, Gaza stuff. I mean, now there's some terrorism and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. There is a lot of that too. But any of the military industrial complex type stuff, it's almost all money laundering.
Okay, so Anton, you've been he's been telling me about the crazy influx of people from the Middle East that are coming and taking over his fucking country.
Yeah, we have a lot of that. I mean, the neighborhood I grew up in, like right next to it, I think it's like 80% immigrants living there. And 20 years earlier, it was 5%, basically. And the criminal rate is just going through the roof.
It's happening all over Europe.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the pets.
They're eating the pets. Okay, so we'll get this. Okay, today's headline, I don't know if it was Unusual Whales or not, but it was on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Remember back in October, gangs are taking over apartment complexes in Aurora.
Yes.
But that wasn't happening. That's not real, right?
Yeah.
Today, they literally just arrested a whole bunch of people that have taken over a complex in Aurora, Colorado. A whole bunch of gang members. They literally arrested them today. But remember, that wasn't happening back in October, right before the election.
Okay, and to that point, the people that are opposing these mass deportations, okay, the people that think that it's inhumane, okay, these are the same people that are screaming, "Eat the rich," right? That want these this utopian society where everyone is treated equally. this is what equal treatment looks like. And this is the thing about like, you know, this whole like threat of fascism that everybody's so afraid of. What we're seeing now is what real freedom looks like, is where everyone is treated equally. But the thing is they don't like it. So they call it fascism. Okay.
Yeah, yes. Well, like it's anything that you see that says like, "Oh, Congress is mad because there's a conflict of interest here or there or whatever," when they're literally making millions of dollars on insider trading.
How do you make $1 million whenever your salary is $100,000?
100, exactly right.
It doesn't
You
make
just
sense.
happen to know when the trade's going to happen for NVIDIA or any other giant company that may not even fucking exist. That's just numbers on a piece of paper. Yeah. Oh, hey, I need to buy a bunch of Northrop Grumman stock. Oh, guess what? We've now just sent $60 billion to Ukraine. Oh, and Northrop Grumman is going to, you know what I mean? Like, just come on. Like,
so, you know, and now with the Department of Government Efficiency, okay, which is just going through and stripping so many of these bullshit factions of the government, you know, and what's so funny, the flip side of the coin, okay, Anthony Fauci was a non-elected government official that straight up killed millions of people through an experimental vaccine that nobody understood the science on, but there was a lot of big pharma money pushing him to enact, you know, by being the director of the National Health Institute. Is that what?
Whatever. Yeah.
Sure, it doesn't matter. But the point is that now, when it was Fauci, it was trust the science. But there was no conflict of interest, even though he was being paid by, you know, these gigantic pharmaceutical companies. Now we're starting to see the flip side of that coin of we've got Elon Musk. Is he an elected official? No, absolutely not. Has he been appointed by an elected official to oversee, you know, this Department of Government Efficiency? Yes, he has.
And he's just providing the information. Him and his team that are doing all this, they're providing the information to the administration. And then the administration is determining what happens.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, it's not like Elon Musk is writing laws.
Right, exactly. Not
Elon Musk is not throwing people in jail.
It's not. He just, hey, look at what we found. Hey, here's where your $50 million in condoms to Gaza is. This is the thing. Yeah. Here's your $6 billion to the Wuhan lab. You know what I mean? Like, we're starting to sound super right wing.
I don't give a fuck. I literally, dude, I don't give a fuck. And remember, okay, let's see. Whenever Bernie was running for president, bro, I was all aboard the Bernie train. Feel the burn, bro. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I know. You were a big Bernie guy.
Big Bernie guy. Yeah. And then what happened? The DNC fucking snuffed him out.
Just like they did with everyone else?
Yeah. I mean, but like Bernie was too logical, too common sense, too appealing to the center of people in the United States, even though he was an extreme radical leftist, right? There is so much shit that Bernie and Trump have in common. Then whenever the DNC snuffed him out, I was like, okay, straight to Trump. I went far right just immediately. Dude, I don't care if people think that I'm a fucking right-wing nut job. I'm not by any means. I don't care if people
Whoever thinks you are is already, they already have a wrong idea. They don't even know what a far right, they don't even already know. It doesn't even make sense. I can't even put it together.
Right wing nut job.
Yeah, I know. But if they think that of you, then they literally don't have a clue.
I mean, you are a nut job.
Sure, just not right wing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So he's half of it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of loose screws.
Now, hold on, wait a second. What kind of nut job am I then?
Or what does a nut job mean? I feel like in my brain, nut job is, I mean, an idiot almost. Yeah.
You're not wrong, but I mean.
Well, a nut job is someone that, like, here's an American expression, hook, line, and sinker, is someone that is intentionally stupid and intentionally pro a certain specific ideology, typically political, but they don't care. They just, close their eyes.
They refuse to even accept or acknowledge any other possible outcome other than their thought process.
Perfect way to put it, yeah.
I mean, you're that way when we talked about ice pops or whatever last weekend.
Thank you, Scott. Do you know? Okay, if I have a tube, okay, a plastic tube, and inside of it is frozen ice. Okay, you've had these before.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
Popsicle.
What?
It's a popsicle.
That hold on. What is a popsicle?
A popsicle is a frozen dessert that's frozen ice. Like, okay, the perfect example that it's a tube of plastic that you fill with green, blue, purple, yellow, whatever frozen ice. You cut the tip off of it and then you eat it.
That is not a popsicle.
I'm pretty sure the box says popsicle.
Nah, bro, it doesn't.
Okay.
It's an ice pop.
An ice pop.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I call it a popsicle, but is this...
Okay, you call that a popsicle.
So do you say soda or do you say pop?
Either or.
Okay.
It's both.
Okay.
Now, hold on, wait a second. A soda and a pop are the same thing. That's just a regional dialect.
Okay.
Okay. A popsicle has what in it?
You're saying, I mean, to me, it's frozen ice. It's ice cream, frozen ice.
A popsicle has what in it? Whenever you were in elementary school and you used to build things using
A stick.
a popsicle stick.
Popsicle stick. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So therefore, a popsicle requires what?
The stick. I see what you're
A
saying.
popsicle stick. The defining feature of a popsicle is the stick. Okay? Like a bomb pop.
Yeah. Okay.
A bomb pop is a popsicle.
Okay.
All right. So if you have a tube of ice, how can that be a popsicle if it doesn't have a popsicle stick?
See, I guess I'm considering it more so on the concept of what the actual devouring item is.
The thing,
I'm with you.
The consumption of the item, not how you consume it, but what it is. So, like, okay, a bomb pop.
yeah.
Is that a bomb popsicle?
No, a bomb pop is a brand of popsicle. A bomb pop is a specific style. That's the one
Okay,
with the ridges on the
ridges,
outside,
green or
blue,
red.
white,
Yeah,
red.
yeah.
That's a bomb pop.
I mean, I was thinking the exact same way as you, but I mean, what you're saying is right. I mean, he's right, but it doesn't really matter.
So whenever we were in Memphis, I can't remember how it got brought up, but I asked him if they had ice pops in Sweden. And he
Just did not have any idea what you were talking about.
yeah, and we got lost. And what's crazy is, like, for them, don't you call like an ice pop? You call it a popsicle, or is it the popsicle? Because then there's like the healthy ones that are made out of actual frozen fruit.
Right.
Have you ever made those at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you pour the frozen fruit mixture into the form, and then you put a popsicle stick inside of it, and then you put it in the freezer and you freeze it. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's also a popsicle.
Right.
Because it has a stick in it.
Right. Okay. So the stick is the determining factor if
Absolutely,
it's a popsicle or not.
Now, sorry.
I want you to take this up with my 3-year-old and get him squared away because
Me and Cruz will talk about it all day.
okay.
But here's the thing. Do you know the third kind of frozen treat that's in the same family? Because we have ice pops, also known as flavor ice or otter pops. Depending on
Otter Pop's new for me. I don't know that one.
Okay, that's an East Coast thing. Flavor Ice is the brand, okay? That's the name brand of Ice Pops. Ice Pops are the thing, okay? Then there's Push Pops.
Which is basically the same thing.
No, because Push Pops are actually ice cream. Remember Flintstones?
Okay. Yeah, and you actually work it through the cardboard piece up and out. Is that what I'm thinking
but
of?
it also it has a plastic stick at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, that's
Remember
right.
that?
Yeah.
With a
Wow.
paper tube wrapping
The
on the
paper
outside.
tube is what I'm picturing, yeah.
You
Right.
peel the top, okay, then you push the little tube downward and then start to lick at the top, and you
Right.
continue pushing. I really want to get a Flintstones Push Pop.
So you need the ice cream man to drive by, ding, 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 and you need to be full sprint out to
Okay,
the ice cream truck.
do they have drive around ice cream trucks in Sweden?
Yes, we do.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you guys have running water and internet also?
Yeah, we do, actually.
In some places?
In some places, yeah. Only the rich people have that.
So is it not, like the whole thing just isn't ice? Hey, is it true that Iceland is not ice and Greenland is ice?
Yeah.
That's a real
I
thing.
feel like the Vikings were just like messing.
No,
No, that's a legit like
strategy.
strategy.
Yeah, that was all intentional.
Yeah, I just didn't know if that was like real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Having
mean,
never been to either one of them.
I haven't been to either of them, but yeah, I mean, they switch it around.
Have you been anywhere?
Most of Europe, yeah. China, Australia.
You've been to China, huh?
Yeah, I did a race there this summer. That was awesome.
Was it pretty cool?
Yeah.
What'd you race?
I raced a Husky 450 outdoors race. Yeah.
How did that come about?
Yeah, sorry, I never asked you this, how you even found your way
Give
there.
me the story. Like, to go to China and race a dirt bike is pretty wild. Like, so I need, who called you? How did you line that up? What's the deal?
Yeah, when I was here last year, I got a text on Instagram from a Chinese dude who was like, I maybe have an opportunity for you to come and race in China. I was like, okay, awesome. Just send me a text whenever, when you have a race. I was like, okay. And then
I think this is how people disappear, Jeff.
yeah.
I think that's like the step one to
I
people
got
just disappearing.
Got an Instagram message from a Chinese guy.
Yeah, and then I think it was like July or August. He texted me like, "We have a race in 2 weeks. Do you want to come and race?" I was like, "Sure." Had a phone call with him, and I had to get a visa, so he just drove up to the closest place that had a visa. Got that, and then I got the plane tickets on my phone because he bought them, and I jumped on a plane to China.
Dude, that's wild. So then what? So you flew into China. I'm assuming you don't speak Chinese.
No, I
So
did
what
not.
happens now?
I mean, I landed in China. A Chinese dude with my name on a paper was at the airport, picked me up, and
Did he speak any English, this man that picked you up?
this guy was the English master. They told me, but he could not speak English. I mean, he could, but it was pretty hard to understand what he said, and he basically didn't understand us either. But
I mean, I can barely understand you. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then he drove me to a restaurant. We ate, and I asked him like, "Are we racing Supercross or motocross?" Or because they told me both. Like when I asked them, like, "Is it Supercross?" Or like, "Yeah." And then I asked him a couple of weeks later, like, "Are you sure? Is it not motocross?" I was
A couple weeks?
not weeks, a couple of days later. I was like, "Is it Supercross or motocross?" Like, because I want to have suspension if it's Supercross. They're like, no, motocross. I was like, okay.
Same but different.
Yeah. And in the restaurant, I was like, okay, is the track closed here? Because I flew into Beijing. And he started laughing. And I was like, okay. No, racetrack. 10 hours car. I was like, okay. You didn't tell me that, but sure. So we just waited around for a couple hours for the two Australian guys that was going to race to come. We picked them up at the airport. We started driving like just out into the desert, 10 hours basically. And showed up to a small town, super dirty.
Like no running water type of place or what?
They had running water, but if you put out on your toothbrush, you were going to get sick, really sick.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're only drinking like bottled water, showers?
Yeah, I mean, I
Like
had
dirt floor type stuff, or is this there's like
No,
buildings
they
there?
had real floors actually.
So it's
They
not like
did.
a village; it's like a
No.
little legit town.
Yeah, it was a town, but yeah, I mean, people were just sleeping on the street. It was just chickens running around, sheeps, and in China, you can't pay with a normal card. You have to have an app. In this app, that's how they text, they call, they pay bills, everything inside this app, because the Chinese government is tracking all the people. So this Chinese guy, he was basically our babysitter. So when we needed food, he had to drive us to the supermarket and buy food. And because this town was middle of nowhere, all the food in all the grocery stores was out of date like 1 year before. Like all the food said like 2023. Like the Coca-Colas, they were, like 6 months old.
Wild.
Yeah. So
Communism.
Communism. Yeah.
I mean I didn't get food poisoning actually, which is a miracle. But yeah, the other two Australian dudes, they got pretty sick. And like the restaurants and everything was so dirty, and they call it hot pot. So you just get raw meat on a plate, and then you just put the meat inside a big bowl of boiling water, and then you pick it up and eat, basically. So it was pretty weird, but yeah.
I wish people could see our faces right now, Jeff. Like I'm just no.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
no,
just,
no, no, no.
I'm just imagining, dude. What the fuck?
I would have packed like 100 boxes of protein bars.
But
Like
how would you have known that it was?
Yeah, how
even
would you know?
gonna be?
Right? Yeah, because you can't speak to them. So
Okay, so you raced, all right, and I remember you telling me that the bike was cutting out or something.
Yeah, the bike was cutting out. So like when I tried to do a start, the bike is boop, 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 and then it went basically. And I was like Justin Barsha, just revving it like crazy because I didn't want it to cut out in like a takeoff and stuff like that. So that was pretty gnarly too.
And they wouldn't work on it, or wouldn't let you work on it, or do you know how to work on anything?
Yeah, I know, but they didn't want me to. Like when I tried to work on the bike and put fuel on the bike, they were like, no. They just pushed me
Freaked
away.
out.
And they then had like 6 guys trying to put fuel in the bike.
You know, I never thought about it. It could have just been the gas.
Just bad gas. Like
I think it was that they were washing the bike with the filter, air filter in, and then they didn't change the air filter.
Yeah, so it was
Did you
sucking
tell
water
them
in.
that?
I tried to.
That it didn't matter.
They're like, just, yeah.
So okay, so you race just with it cutting out, just let it rip, hope for the best.
Yeah, basically. And
Was it a mud race?
yeah, we were supposed to race like 3 days, but they had the track like down in a quarry. So when the rainstorm came in, the track was underwater. Like you can just see the tops or tips of the jumps. So we were like, okay, can you just rebook our tickets and we can fly back home? And like, no, you're racing. Like, how?
Yeah, right.
How? And they were like, we pump water here to here. It's like, okay, but we're racing tomorrow, you told us. So how are you going to make that? I was like, no worries. Come here, 10 o'clock tomorrow. Okay. Then showed up the next day and they pumped almost all the water from one side of the quarry to the other side, which was crazy. And then they just did a different loop of a track because in this quarry they did a motocross track, they had a side-by-side track and a quad track. But then they just put the dry parts together. So it was like a big, like almost off-road track kind of thing. Which was, the track was pretty sick, actually.
So, were the jumps sketchy? Did they have were there jumps at all, really, or no? Like,
yeah, we had big jumps, actually. But the guy that built the tracks was pretty good.
yeah. So, you get there, it's time to race. You got your bike that runs-ish. What, the other guys are sick? Did they race? Did they get over being sick, the Australian guys?
Yeah, they get over getting sick.
Okay, so how many guys are racing? You're racing the pro class. Keep going. I guess I need more. Give me more.
I think we were like 5 guys that flew in. We had the 2 Australian guys, me, and then 2 Japanese guys, or one of them were from somewhere else. And then it was like 15 Chinese guys, which we lapped after like 1 lap, basically. So we were 5 people that could actually race or ride. And because my bike is cut out, I was lost in the start trying to pass all these squirrely Chinese guys. And the race were only like 10 or 15 minutes. So I worked all my way up to 3rd. And the guy that won the 2nd place and me were like inside half a second. And it was quite a lot of money or payout difference from first to third. So I was pissed. But I mean, I made some money, so I'm happy.
Dude, so when I think about going and racing overseas, like, I mean, for one, it'd be super cool, and I'd love to go do it. Like, go to Paris Supercross or whatever, go to Australia and do an Australian National. Like, that'd be super cool. I have no connection whatsoever to be able to go do that. However, it would be super sick. But when I think of guys going to middle of nowhere China or Argentina, or, you know, like these races that Bubba and Chase go and do in middle of nowhere, I think about getting hurt. Yep. And then what?
Yeah, so Marquier was telling me whenever he did Costa Rica that he would go down there and he got paid cash, regardless of finish, $5,000. And
show up money, regardless.
Show up money, yeah. and he's racing for a factory Suzuki Costa Rica and getting beat, by the way, by the locals. Because there's a dude in Costa Rica, I can't remember the guy's name. Dude is wicked fast, like unbeatable down there. And he's actually come up and done Red Bud and Hangtown and, you know, was well within the top 20 in the 450 class. Bro rips.
Right.
Marquier was telling me, he's like, dude, the crazy thing is after the races are over, they give you cash. So you have $5,000 cash, and it's usually in 20s. And then you're just like, what the fuck do I do with this? And like, you know,
everybody knows you got it.
Still Costa Rica, right? Yeah, they're still, but they don't have armed guards, but they do have security. They stay in specific hotels. And they, it's like all inclusive.
That's pretty sick.
It's pretty sick.
And Costa Rica has like American healthcare type quality.
If not better.
Yeah, better. Yeah, whatever.
But he was telling me, he's like, dude, the crazy part is I had to fly, you know, some brother, like his brother or some friends down so they could put money in different bags for them to fly back.
Whoa.
Because he's coming back with so much cash.
From winnings and whatnot.
From winnings.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's like that's kind of this weird thing about going to, because how much money did you make?
I made like $2,000.
Yeah. Cash or?
Chinese cash.
Yen.
Yen, yeah.
Okay.
So
I just put it in different pockets, different suitcases, like trying to spread it out. But the hardest part was when I came to Sweden and trying to change these Chinese or yen to, Swedish money. Trying to explain for the guy,
like where, like
how did
to claim it or whatever whatever it's called.
How did you get this money?
Well, you see, a guy sent me a message on Instagram.
That's wild. But I always think about it because remember the Metal Militia guy, Ox, or whatever, he crashed in Mexico doing flip. He died because, I mean, I don't know if for one, the crash was really bad, but then I don't know if they just couldn't fix him or what, but I think about that shit all the time.
Jeff Cargola, was that his name?
Yeah, or I don't know if it's Jeff, Ox, Cargola, whatever. Yeah, it might have been Jeff. But, or like, doesn't Bubba Pauly go and race in Indonesia or some shit like that? And like, I mean, the track's as wide as this room is here, and there's people just lined up down the whole thing.
So badass.
It's like super cool, but like, I just think about like, oh my gosh, what happens if you eat shit and you gotta go get help?
I didn't think about that, which is luckily, because if I did, I would probably not go to China.
Yeah, dude, but that's part of being young, dumb, and full of cum. You're just gonna go to fucking China for $2,000. Hell yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I was speaking to the Australian guys because they've been there before. They're like, if you crash, they just take you and just drag you off the track and just leave you, basically.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't win.
We've got 2 minutes to pack this up. That's it for the episode.
Yeah,
we did an hour and 3 minutes, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, super loose.
I hate to cut it off because we're starting to get into. Maybe we just post this and then do a fucking whole other episode next week.
I'm okay with that. Yeah,
with Anton.
Maybe we'll see. It's consistently inconsistent. Who knows?
I mean, fuck, you could be in a whole different world.
I could be, yeah.
At any moment. Okay, cool. Well, hey, thanks everybody for listening to this episode of the Over the Bars podcast. Thanks for coming on, Anton.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. He's actually going to start listening to OTB now.
There we go. Yeah, and don't forget, check out the OTB Facebook page. We do have that.
That we do, yeah. And also tell your friends, OTB's back. That's the most important part. We're trying to grow this thing word of mouth.
And Joey, move up to the A class.
Joey, move up to the fucking A class. Future guests, if you have a suggestion for a future guest, let me tell you who I want to have on is Frank Craven.
Frank.
I would love to have Frank on. You mentioned Cam Kendall. Would love to have Cam
Another
on.
foreigner.
Yeah. We're going full international.
Kiwi, yeah, international.
But yeah, if you have a suggestion for a guest, shoot us a message. Dude, Jesse George, we need to have him back. That'd be great. Anybody else you can think of off the top of the head?
We need to get Gabe to drive up here.
Dude, Gabe would be great. We're staying at Gabe's house.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Well, it's 5:59. We got to pack it up and get out of the room. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next installment of OTB.